All right, let's see where we're going. I'm trying a new thingy. Let's see how it looks. What's going on? This is Glendon Cameron, your hustling godfather. Today, we're going to talk about starting your business in 2020. Where do you start? What do you need to do? So, before we get into that, let me send this out. Let's see if this is going to go. It went out. All right. So we're cooking with gas. Well, welcome into the new year. We're 2 weeks into it. And how many of you are trying to start your business this year? How many of you are in that spot who are looking to start your business, to make some money, to get some freedom? So one of the things that we need to do is prep the environment. Now, what do I mean by prepping the environment? First of all, we got to lay down some ground rules. We got to lay down some serious ground rules to what's going on in 2020. Yeah. Oh, that actually worked. Okay, Roger Steele, glad to see that. I want to condition the minds. I want to condition the audience. First of all, I was watching some advertisements about starting businesses, and the number of people who are going to go from nothing, absolutely nothing, to a seven-figure business is exceptionally small. We're not going to talk about becoming millionaires and billionaires and having time to hang out with big booty Betty. We're not going to talk about that, because I want you guys to be long-term successful. I want you to be sustainably successful. And so much of what's on the internet is predicated on amazingly fast transformations. Amazingly fast transformations where people are able to start a business and within mere months be making multiple six figures or seven figures, and they have this amazing transformation story because it was so quick. We're not going to talk about that. It's 2020. We're going to talk about you got to do the work. You got to put in the work. And this is one of the hardest things in life. It is so hard that you are working. You are working, you are working, you are working, and you are working, and the results are slow to come. That's a hard place to be. But that's the reality of sustainable success. All right, Symbol Land, congratulations. Yeah, for those of you who want to be on the text notification list, the link should be below. But I want you guys to be successful. I've been here on YouTube for 10 years, and I've been successful on YouTube for 10 years. I want you guys to be long-term, sustainably successful. I don't want you like this Omni and the Hellcat. Let's talk about Omni and the Hellcat, whose channel is predicated on stunting. He did a video, it was 2016, he was broke. So 2017, 2018, 2019, 3 years. where he was making that money, then something happened because he did not have the proper people in his corner. He did not have the proper systems. He did not have high level of financial literacy. So 3 years. He's 32 years old. So when he was 29, he had this great life for 3 years. And everything before that sucked. And, because he started a YouTube channel, he may be okay from not being an average person, because the channel probably makes 50, 60,000 a month. But once again, I don't want that kind of stuff to happen to you guys. I want you guys to be long-term successful. That, in this starting your business in 2020, one of the things that you got to do is to set the foundation. And part of the foundation stuff, and one of the reasons I spoke on this, is you're not going to ball out this year. You're not going to have big booty Betty. And also with these template, like you do Shopify, you do Amazon FBA, even with those, you're still looking at a lot of time invested and a lot of money to grow it. Even with that. So one of the first things we want to do is for you to create this incredible personal transformation. It's going to take time. It's going to take time for you to get your million. It's going to take time for you to grow your business. It's going to take time for this radical financial transformation to occur. It's going to take time. It's not going to be like that. And one of the reasons that I'm belaboring this and I'm talking about this is, once you have the proper expectations, like, let's talk about something a little crazy. Let's say you're married and you and your wife have an open relationship, and you and your wife have discussed it. You've talked about it. She's cool with you seeing other women. You're cool with her seeing other dudes. And because you now have these proper expectations, when your wife calls you, it's like, I'm not coming home because I met somebody, you ain't mad. Because you knew that was coming. Because you had proper expectations laid out. But this is one of the things that happens here online, is that people don't have proper expectations. They feel that they're going to buy a course in 3 months. They're going to be making 90K, 100K, 200K, 300K a year. It's just simply not going to happen for most people. All right. A lot of people are getting the text. Cool. Because like I said, I was going to bring that back. But what I want to address is having the proper expectations for your business, having the proper expectations, because here's one of the things that's going to throw you. Right now, you are a naked success. You butt naked success, meaning that the vessel of you has the ability to be very, very successful, but you're naked. You have no clothes on. You don't have any seasoning. You don't have any training. And this process is going to take time, because you don't know what you don't know, and you're not going to know certain things about your business until you get started, until you get into it. So this is why I want you guys to have the correct and the right mindset, that you're on a 2 to 3 year journey. You ain't leaving your job next month. You're on this wonderful, magical journey that is going to take you to big places in time. Once again, I'm talking about conditioning the mindset. One of the things that you're going to do is you're going to work really, really hard. And the results are going to be slow to come. You're going to work really hard. You're going to be showing up every day. You're going to be putting in the work, and the results are going to be slow to come because you're building something that doesn't exist. You're building something that doesn't exist. Right now, it only exists in your mind, whatever you want to do. The reality is, once you move this concept out of your mind into the real world, it's going to take a lot to get it going. What's up, South Africa? Fahida, I'm on your, depending on what you want to do. And this is something else too, that all business models are not going to perform the same. And this is one of the things, because it's going to take you some time for you to become a business person versus being a hustler. A hustler, hustling is good. Hustling's great. But hustling has its time and place. You got a job, you hustle on the side. But right now, in 2020, with the correct foundation, you guys are building businesses to be long-term sustainable. You're building businesses that, let's say you're 25 years old when you get this message. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to work very hard for the next 3 to 5 years. You'll be 28 or 30 before this thing starts to smooth out. I'm telling you that because that's the reality of what's going to happen. And I want you to be prepared for that, because when you're in year 2 and you're like, man, this is still hard. I don't have my millions. I don't have my big booty Betty. I don't have my Lambo. But I want you to remember back to this message like, oh, this was how it's going to be. This is how it was going to pan out. This is how it was going to be. See, if you know this beforehand, this sets you up for greatness later. Lester, we're talking about starting businesses. And no, I would not make a holding company the beneficiary of a life insurance policy. Once again, I would not do that. And I got a question. Lester, is your business making money? Because one of the things that happened in 2019 that's not going to happen in 2020 is we got people asking questions and their business ain't making any money. Because, I know being progressive, forward thinking is a good thing, but 2020, we're about doing the work. All right, Lester, we're about doing the work. Do you have any family members that you want to enrich in case you meet an untimely demise? Because here's another thing, like, with setting up a business and setting up generational wealth, because this is what's Lester's questions about, generational wealth. Who in your family would you want to be the benefit in case you die? Because see, if you leave the money to your holding company and the holding company is not being left to anybody, the state gets it. So you want to enrich the state? So one of the things that I want to do is to create preparatory expectations for 2020. All right, Lester, why don't you want to put the insurance policy in your grown kids' names? Yes, 16K does open doors. But one of the things that I want you guys to understand and prepare for is this is going to be hard. It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. So when you run into a problem that challenges you, go ahead and go like, oh, this dude told me it was going to be like this. And then you tighten up your resolve and you work as hard as you can on it. You should get how to start a service business with the, go to B School of Hustlers. Because one of the things is, and this is a really good question, Stephen, is when you start a business, because we have many people who start with the service or the product first. Then they go got their spear, they go hunting for an audience. That's actually the worst way to do it. You want to have your audience in mind first and create a product or service for a known audience. So once again, there's so many things that are going to be happening in 2020 with your businesses, because if this is your first step to starting your business, I want you guys to understand and to acknowledge that this is going to be hard. It's going to be rough. It's going to take commitment, resolve, and discipline to get where you want to go with your business. That's the reality of it. Because once again, 2020, beginning of a new year, and we're going to do, I'm going to do a lot of foundational stuff, because when your foundation is strong, your business becomes strong. When your foundation is weak, like someone sent me, I think it was Agent J Poole, this guy who had a $2,000 a day business, Amazon FBA, and boom, it disappeared like that. See, this is one of the things that, like, when you build a business from scratch and you don't plug into a template like Amazon or a system like the Shopify, Facebook ad tip, you build a business from the ground up with all that difficulty. No one can do a mouse click and shut your business down. Like, to talk about last year, I had a heart attack. I was in the hospital for 3 weeks. My business, I wasn't running my business. My business kept going. I got out the hospital with cash in the bank. I want you to think about that. When you build your business the right way, no one can turn your business off with a mouse click. Like, we don't like his kung fu. Click, click, and you out of business. When we were doing the upscale garage sale, it took 6 months to shut that business down, and I was still making money selling stuff. So once again, the Shopify, the Amazon FBA, these are businesses where, like, let's say you're doing Shopify, and then you run into a problem where Facebook turns off your ads, just denies your ad account. And Google this. This is common. You making $20,000, $30,000 a day, then someone turns your business off with a mouse click. I mean, I want you to think about that. That you spend all this time and effort, you're making all this money, but your business can be turned off by a mouse click. Not turned off because the market shifted, which takes time, but turned off because you may have done something to offend Facebook or Amazon, which could be very easy to do. Awesome, Lester. Yes, to start is the hardest thing. Now, let's say, because right now this live stream is about mental conditioning. It's about mentally conditioning yourself to start your business. Because one of the things I've been doing, like, CoffeeZilla, he does all of these videos about these scams. And I'll watch when he'll bring someone on, and this person wasn't conditioned for long-term success. They were looking to make, I mean, like you spent $2,500 for a course and you quit your job. I want you to think about that. And this is gets back to people not knowing what they don't know. Like if you invested $2 million in a business as a cash investor, you know what your expected return is? On the high side is 10 to 15%. Because you ain't doing nothing. You just came to the table with a bunch of cash, which was welcome. Thank you very much. We needed this cash. We could use this cash to grow the business. But that's all you've done. You're going to make more money proportionally if you start the business and work in the business. That's where most of the money's going to come from. Like, my argument with starting a business versus Bitcoin. Here's the thing with Bitcoin. You have to keep investing money in Bitcoin to acquire more Bitcoin, whether it goes up or down. If you start a side hustle, a service business, let's just say your name is Jerome. And Jerome, you got a job, but every weekend you wash cars. And let's see, you're charging $25 a car, and you do 10 cars per weekend. On the Saturday, you're doing the Saturday. So that's $250 times 4. It's 1,000 times 12. That's $12,000 giving up one day out your weekend. It's $12,000 in your pocket versus you spending money on Bitcoin, hoping that it will drastically appreciate where you could say you made some money. Somebody get welfare office. Studying crypto is a full-time job if you want to make money. So one of the things that we want to talk about, is the realities of starting a business. Is you're going to start a business, you don't really know what you're doing, so you're looking at this drastic learning curve. You're looking at a drastic learning curve. You're looking at time. You're not going to be able, like, one of my favorite stories is Into the Gloss, the blog, Into Glossier, the product. She worked on that blog 4 years before she launched her makeup company, just getting information. And when they started launching products, sold out, sold out, sold out, because she knew what the customer wanted, because she had this information from this blog. She knew what the customer wanted. And this is a $1 billion brand in like 7 years. So once again, time. So you want to study your audience. Desiree Monique Harris, are you saying the service business is the type of business you should start? Let me give you the qualifications. If you have no clue to what type of business you want to start, you have no hobbies, you have no inkling, yes, a service business is where you can start, because here's the good news about starting a service business. Let's say you start a service business for 3 to 4 years, and then you want to do something else. Service business is going to give you the money, and it's going to give you the knowledge of running a business, because business skills that you would use in a service business are transferable to something else. Like the skills that I acquired running the upscale garage sale were transferable to the YouTube channel. So, this is a way for you to skill yourself up, make some money, and get some knowledge, some real relevant knowledge with dealing with real customers, real problems, real cash flow issues. So, yeah, I say that if you don't know what you want to do. Oh, yeah, we're back with the text notifications. So, once again, one of the things that you want to do is grow your knowledge base. And let's say if you're like Desiree, you don't know what you want to do, you have no clue, you have no grand vision, start a service business for 3 to 4 years. And if you build that service business up to the point where it's a sellable asset, you could sell that and cash out with a lot of cash. Like here's a friend who wanted to sell her service business, and I talked her out of it because I just like, this is a cash cow. This thing runs itself. I mean, there's moments you work hard. So, she had a written training manual that she got people. She had friends and family working for her consistently, and it never backfired on her. And I was like, well, what you do is you go out, you get yourself a replacement for you, pay this person good money, and keep the company. And she was doing like 250, almost 200,000 by herself and her small staff. And then she got this chick in there who actually was a beast, paid this chick 6 figures, and the company does like 750,000 a year. So now my friend gets to slide a lot of money into her pocket, and she ain't doing the work. I actually got skills from working at McDonald's and Denny's. Absolutely. Because see, it isn't where you work, it's how you do the job. That's so important. How did I create? I just sat down and did it. I identified a niche in the market, and I said, well, I'm going to create a product for this. It isn't how. I mean, how is pretty easy. It's like, what product should you create? Terry Henry, what's your advice to someone with a skilled trade that wants to start a business? Start a business with that skilled trade because that's where most of your expertise is. See, this is one of the reasons that people start businesses and they fail. They start a business that they get in the field they know nothing about. So they've got to learn how that field operates. Then they'll do something stupid like quit their job. So they got to figure out how to run this business. Then this business has to support them and the business. And it's a baby business. It's a baby. You wouldn't ask a 4-year-old to go to work and earn money to pay the bills. But many people will do this with a baby business without blinking because it's a business. It's supposed to be able to do all this stuff. It's supposed to be magical and shifting and moving like that. But the reality is, many people start businesses where they have no experience. And then they feel that, and they could, there are people who start businesses with no experience. And in time, they've learned the market, they learn the skill sets. But that's amazing pressure on you to be successful. How does someone go from zero income to 100K in 2020? Start a bit zero income. First thing, you gotta get a job, man. You gotta get a job. If you have zero income and you feel that you're going to start some business and make 100K in less than a year, good luck with that. Statistically, that's very unlikely. So the first thing you would do is get a job. And then you would work on your business on the side, meaning you would give up your creature comforts, your TV time, your big booty Betty rubbing time, and you will put in the work. You will have to do the work. Get a job. This whole notion that people who have no sales experience, no marketing experience, no content, just gonna blow up. It's a misnomer. It's dangerous. What's better for an electrical service type of business? An LLC. You can have an LLC as an SCorp, or you can have a corporation as SCorp. It also depends on you, who's going, how many people you're going to have in your company. Is it just going to be you? Or are you going to include other members? There's a lot of questions that need to be answered before you decide to, because more than likely, if you're going to be a single member LLC, an S corp will be a good benefit. But once again, there's some gotchas with the S corp because of the tax advantages of an S corp. If you ever sell that business, the government is going to want that money back. So just know that. Sales jobs are great. I know, reigning woman. All right, son of Nook. I know. I wish you a speedy recovery, Jeremy. Trying to hire drivers. And once again, this whole process of becoming a business owner, like there are many courses out there. There's the Hood Estates trucking course, which tells you what to do. Like, all right, once you start hiring human beings, you're going to run into so many problems because human beings are complex. And every time you hire a human being, you hire all of them and their problems. Let me go ahead and tell you what happened with one of my employees. He was on the job for 6 weeks. He was a young man. He was very talented, and he wanted vacation benefits because he's like, you got my back, man. Like, we boys or something. And I was like, no, it's like, yeah, you can take that day off. You ain't getting paid for it, but yeah, you can take that day off. And that was a problem because I had these young millennials that wanted to come in and get a job and instantly be able to take off and earn money while they're not working for the company in a very short period of time. These folks didn't understand. I remember, I'm from the dinosaur days where you got a job and you didn't get vacation time for a year. You didn't get vacation time that you could take for a year. And, many of these people are looking at how these software companies or do vacation packages, benefit packages, where they have a team of people where one person could take off, but the work still gets done because they have a team. It's amazing. Sorry to hear that, Mark. Mag Julian. Yeah, that's called a holding company. Appliance boot camp. Always amazed by people quitting their jobs, but I'm finding out most people aren't bringing home $500K a week. That's $500 a week. That's why they're so quick to quit. Well, one of the things is, and goes towards conditioning. When I say do the work, you're going to have to do things to be successful that you're not going to be happy doing. They're going to be boring. It's going to be tedious. It's going to be hard. It's going to be part of the process of growing a business is very unsexy. It's going to be tedious. It's going to be grunt work. And many people get these jobs and they call them soul sucking jobs where they're doing X, Y, and Z. And they don't know how to ennoble their work or to make their work fun. They're looking for whoever hires them to give them a fascinating and an amazing job and an amazing salary. Yet this person hasn't qualified themselves for that. Because here's the good news. If you're an extremely talented person who can get things done, who can go into a company and impact the bottom line, you never have to look for a job. They will find you. And if no one is, hey, we want to hire you, if recruiters are not banging down your door on LinkedIn, that's a sign that you're not exceptional. And if you're not exceptional, you're not going to get those exceptional opportunities. I know, Stephane, that's how I looked at it. Extraordinary money, what do you mean? Silky touch aesthetics. I'm an older millennial. I see that attitude every day. I've been hustling, working 7 days a week to get my business off the ground and still working my full-time corporate job. Silky touch aesthetics. That's the ticket. Let me read this comment again. This is what we're talking about. I'm an older millennial. I see that attitude every day. I've been hustling, working 7 days a week to get my business off the ground and still working my full-time corporate job. That's going to be your life. That's what's going to enable you to have an extraordinary life in the future. Silky touch aesthetics is going to have an extraordinary life in the future. It ain't today, because she's laying the pathwork. She's laying the foundation. She's working 7 days a week and she's still working her corporate job. That's the ticket. That's what you're going to have to do. None of this, I'm going to take a course. I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to be out. I'm going to be making all this money and I'm going to have all of this free time to hang out with Big Booty Betty. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. Good comment, Silky Touch Aesthetics. Marc Lindo, you got to sit down and think about what you want to do with your life. Quentin Jackson, I didn't get vacation days in 2 years at the company. Even then, it was only a week. I'm telling you, man. Let's talk games. Make the decision to do it. Edward Anderson, stop. Let's see. One place you better start is get your mind right about using that phone. Most, how would you start again? Questions sound like making contacts and dealing with people. I mean, yeah, you gotta get on the sales. Rainy woman, ain't a damn thing sexy or satisfying about it. It's delayed gratification, but it's worth it. And that's the reality of it. All right, let's talk games. Desiree Monique Harris, when should you hire someone when you have a business? It depends on what kind of business you have. Some people would be better off using the business profits to hire someone while they keep their job, meaning the employee would be making more money than the business owner to get things rolling. Because let's say your name is John, and John, you work in corporate America, you make 80K a year, you got this business ideal, but you need that 80K a year job to fund the business ideal. So what you do is you go out and you hire 3 people. So they're making all of the money out of the company, but they're growing the asset while you keep your 80K a corporate job. Then 2 years later, the company's making 250K. You could quit, or you could choose to use that money to hire more people. Because see, there's going to run into a point where growing your business is going to be in conflict with you having a job. And that's the point that you quit your job. You don't quit your job until you reach that conflict point. Because your job provides you capital to grow your business and to pay bills. Stop looking for lifestyle and start looking to provide something that impacts people. Edward Anderson. Yeah, create a product or service that helps people. Absolutely. What's your thoughts on drop shipping and Forex? Once again, drop shipping is a template business. Drop shipping, you will need to learn how to use Facebook ads or Google ads, or become very good at hiring Instagram influencers. And once again, those are things you really have no control over. You have to work 80 hours a week if you don't want to work 40 hours a week. In the beginning, it's going to be like that. It's going to be like that. All right, Silky Touch Aesthetics. Elder Tony Williams, transitioning from car sales into real estate sales business in order to maximize tax deductions and the ability to scale. Learning to sell and generate leads has helped me so much. That is good. You know what we used to say in the military? That's good training when you be out training in the rain, walking in the mud, because that conditions the mind for the conditions of war. William Watts, also when people not even making 500 a week, their income is so low, almost non-existent, they really don't care. Rod, for real estate, yeah, work-life balance ain't happening in the beginning, man. It just ain't. Can't afford Big Booty Betty. Goddess Noel, Silky Touch Aesthetics, you make me rethink quitting my job. Once again, that was a great comment because this is the reality. Your first 2 years are going to be like that, more than likely, because I want you to think of your business as an infant. Your business is a baby. It's not full grown yet. 10, 12 years down the road, yeah, it can do everything. It can get you that Porsche, it can get you that mansion. But right now, your business is an infant. And do we ask infants to go get us a glass of water? No. Do we ask infants to pay bills? No. Look at your business where it is in the growth scale, and your business is an infant. It's an infant. This is why service businesses for people who are in a situation where they have no passion, they don't really know what they want to do when they grow up. Erika Williams, she did credit repair and she had a painting company, which enabled her to free herself from the job, because that's your first move. Like, with Silky Aesthetics, once she gets to the point where her business income is going to a point where her business is in conflict with her job, where she's got to start turning down business because she's got to go to work. At that point, she would quit her job and dive into her business full time. Oh, Bed Buddy Brian. That's funny. Marc Lindo, if you're starting from scratch in 2020, what would you do? You have to ask yourself, what do you want to do? Start here. What kind of life do you want to live? Do you want to live in California? Because I'm seeing a lot of these Shopify guru guys moving to California and getting houses. They're not moving into apartments, they're getting houses, which means they're spending 7, 8, 10, 15K a month on rent, which means they're making that kind of money. If I was starting from scratch in 2020, I would continue doing, I'll start a YouTube channel. I'll start a YouTube channel and create a product if I was starting from scratch in 2020. Edward Anderson, reinvest all your money back into your business if you want things to happen faster. Absolutely. Reselling is a good training business, or it can become the ultimate business, because you have eBay, reselling, I would think today is more of you're going to need strategies, because you have eBay, you have Amazon, you have Poshmark, you have Facebook Marketplace, you have OfferUp, as well as Craigslist. There are because when I was reselling, it was Craigslist, eBay, and Amazon. Now you have 10 different places that you can resell stuff. So, if you like reselling, if you like buying and flipping stuff, that could be a viable option going forward. No, I didn't hear about that, Edward. Once again, I've never shamed anyone for having a job because look at my path. I left the boarding house and I got 3 jobs to give me skills that I didn't have. I will never shame anyone for having a job. These rappers, they're living a whole different life. Drive for a company for 2 years last year, buy a truck, become an owner operator, now I have a carrier, so a contract is getting in the way of my business. Wow. Yeah, Forex, there's a steep learning curve for Forex. Stephane, once again, get my money management course because if you are struggling with your money, more than likely it means that you're not optimizing your money and you're not doing the best things with your money. Because this is going to be from the disruptive male standpoint, dealing with quote these sugar babies. They have dumpster fires for lives. They've got all these issues and stuff. They need money and they don't look at their habits as what's created these situations. Silky Touch Aesthetics, exactly, sir. Yes, my business is my baby, and right now she's demanding and expensive. I also have 2 children, and I can't leave my kids without the medical, dental, and vision coverage. Once again, Elder Tony, thank you for the $10 super chat, my dude. Appreciate that. Because once again, if you start to look at your business from the appropriate lens, that, I know being part of the internet marketing space that many people make amazing claims because simply put, if a person doesn't have the right mental conditioning to soldier through those 2 or 3 years, they're just going to run into an obstacle and quit. And that's one of the reasons I'm doing this stream is to help you with the proper mental conditioning. Because with the right conditioning, you can conquer the world. I'm telling you, it's going to be hard. I'm telling you, you're going to have trials and tribulations. I'm telling you, your family going to clown on you. Because this is one of the things with family. Until you become exceptionally successful, meaning that you have the accoutrements of the car, the house, the lifestyle, they're like, why are you doing that? Because once again, you will have many people who are unseasoned who will think that you started a business, 2 months ago, you should be balling out. Many people just have no expectations of knowledge of what the reality is of starting a business. And the reality is in the beginning, it's going to be hard. I've been able to sell a lot of courses and stuff by being honest with you guys. It's going to be hard. It's going to take effort, commitment, and discipline for you to move your business to the next level. That's just the reality of the situation. And so many people go into starting a business with the wrong mindset. That I saw Shania 666, she was selling Silky number 8 and that Remy, and now she has $1 million business. Once again, hair. Let's talk about hair. There's a lot of chicks who've become millionaires selling weave, but these chicks wore weave. They spent so much time with weave that they knew the product, and since they were a member of the audience, they knew what the audience wanted, and they went out and created what the audience wanted. Because many people we're here well, weave. She started a weave business. She made $1 million last year. She got the Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon, pink. She got a mansion. She got little diamond collars for her little Yorkie. She balling out. But you don't know her story. You don't know that, for 7 years she was selling hair, that she was homeless. Many people look at the accoutrements of the success and they don't look at the process that got that business rolling. You can't look at someone, you see a rich guy, he's driving the flashy car, and it's like, okay, he's got that Porsche, he's got that Lambo. Those are the results. What was the process? Like Omni with a Hellcat. That was one of my big issues with him because he never clearly said what he did to get that money until he got in trouble. He was just like, work hard, stay out of trouble. I'm like, dude, everybody already know that. What are you doing, Negro? What are you doing exactly? And then when it came out that there was copyright piracy, because that's one of the charges against him, I'm like, oh, it's real easy to sell some, like, the NFL. They're very much about their copyright. And you can't just download an NFL game and sell it and make money and leave the NFL out. You're copywriting their trademark. And this is what a lot of people on this Napster was like taking all of these songs and giving them free and robbing the artists and the record companies. And that's why it got shut down. This is one of the things, and this is a mindset from people who don't create anything. It's like, okay, I bought this song and I should be able to trade it. And, it's like, that gets a little dicey because you bought that song. And what Napster did was a way for people to get these songs that they didn't have to pay for. Therefore, robbing the record companies of income. And a lot of people felt that was cool because they were never going to be one of those people. But if you're one of those folks who are creating something, like my first book, a website had taken passages from my first book, had it on their website, and I had to go after them. Because a lot of people will take your content, take your trademarks, and try to use them and make money from your hard work. A lot of people will try that. Let's see. Flashwave, my job saved me from so many bad ventures. Hey, I will never shame anyone for not having the job. Marc Lindo, YouTube can be a 1 year to 10-year journey. Silky Touch Aesthetics. What are some of the things that you would recommend for branding? I would recommend that when you do your aesthetics, that you have a t-shirt, you have business cards. If you can, I would wrap my car and have a website and get a logo, all of those things. Also, here's the thing with giving back to community. Until you make it, until you have the money, until you have the time, you're really not in a position to give back to community. So for now, just park that in your mind and 3 years from now, I'm going to find some girls and teach them how to do some stuff. Because see, before you can give back, you got to have something to give. You are a mother with a full-time job and 2 kids. You only have so much time. Focus your time on building your business, building your brand. And then once you've made it and you've got people working for you, then you can give back, but not right now. No, don't even worry about that. Let's talk game. This is my first time seeing. I teach people how to start businesses. Bam, boom, bam. That's it. And everything that comes along with that. Most of these rappers renting out cars, pretty much. Right, for real estate, a lot of these rappers don't make that much money. Um, Silky touch aesthetics. This is what you do. I want you to sit down, and it doesn't really matter if you have great art skills, but I want you to draw your perfect customer. I want you to draw whoever your perfect customer is, and then focus. Go from there. Sky Bevan, I know. Them bundles are like keys of dope. Or she was a professional hairdresser for 10 years. David, once again, my whole problem with Omni was the channel was built on stunting. And when the stunting stopped, the channel started to go into recess. And because he's making so much money from YouTube, he's able to keep the stunting going. Because without stunting, the channel ain't working. I know, Ben. Yeah, you get a lot of people going after each other for stealing songs and stuff because if they can get away with it, they would. Erika Williams, you're gonna start stunning because one of the things is that you got to understand is this building business process. It's going to take time, and be honest, there's going to be times it's going to suck. You're gonna go to your day job, then you're gonna come home, and then your website's gonna crash, or somebody's gonna do something, or you're gonna get some chargebacks. It's just going to suck, and you got to have the mental fortitude to push through that. Because at one point I almost gave up YouTube. They were on me so hard. I had people doing 3-hour hangouts about me. I had people creating alternative YouTube channels to attack the people who were leaving good comments. They went out and created alternative YouTube channels, put my face on the avatar to attack people in the comments. And now that, it's been so many years ago, now I think about it, that was racist as hell. They were coming after me because I was black, bold, successful, making a lot of money on my own terms. And they were like struggling and they couldn't figure it out. So they attacked me. And all of them, the majority of them, have given up YouTube and gone away. I know, Rob, for real estate, because, in the beginning, it's just going to suck. It's just, this is the reality. And you got to have the mental fortitude to soldier through all of that. Because if you don't, it's going to keep sucking. Like when I started the storage auction business, the first 3 months were hell. They were playing games with me, making me waste money. But I was like, you know what? This person over here is spending about 15K a month. Because one of the things I used to do was count people's money. And I would just consistently see people spending, 10, 15, 20,000 a month. And they would keep doing it. And I was like, there's something to this. And I stuck with it. And I'm gonna tell you exactly what I figured out. See, people in the storage auction business bought units based upon their ability to process the unit, which from a logical standpoint, that makes sense. But if you want to make money in the storage auction game, you need to buy big units. And what I had to do was get my processing ability to the point that I can handle 10 to 15 big units per month. And once we start doing that, start making money, because proportionally, the bigger units were cheaper because that many people couldn't handle them. The bigger units, because I remember we're up on Cobb Parkway and this guy bought this 10 by 20 where stuff was literally falling out for $450. And all day long, I've been seeing units that had less than a third, less than a fourth of this one unit go for $200 to $300. As soon as the door went up and all this stuff started, I saw people immediately backing away like, I can't mess with that. I can't buy that. They would buy based upon their ability to process, not based upon the value that was being presented. And once I figured that out, I was off to the races. So one of the things that, and you will have moments like this with your businesses. You'll have moments where you'll figure some stuff out. The link to get on the text notification, the list is below. All right, Silky. Yeah, because, this month, one of the basic business courses, I got to put that together, it's going to be about how to brand your business. Because once you brand your business, you can charge more. Apple is charging 10 times what everyone else is because they're this little brand. They get 10 times extra money because they're branded. Well, Desk, mostly, see, he doesn't have the money coming in that he used to have come in. So it's going to be kind of hard to stunt on that level. All right, David. Once again, with the brand, once you create the brand, you will be able to charge more money. And people will expect to pay more money. How many of you guys heard of nextdoor.com? It usually it started off as just for houses, but now that I think they include apartments. But every day there's someone who lives in this multi-million-dollar neighborhood looking to get a contractor or somebody cheap. And there's a bunch of people who never post on Nextdoor because they're going out and getting companies that are branded, that have a promise and expectation of doing a good job. What do you mean Apple rips people off? See, I'm going to give you a lesson here, Mike. If you see that Apple creating a product, putting it in the marketplace, creating compelling commercials, and getting people to purchase their products is ripping people off, you will never be a successful business person. You will never be a successful business person. When you create a product in these United States of America, you can sell it for whatever you want to. Like this, these Yeti cups. I believe this is a $40 cup, but it keeps my beverage like frequently. I will leave ice in here overnight and wake up in the morning, there's still ice in there. It keeps my beverages cool. It changes your life. So once you make a good product, you can charge whatever you want. If you look at company like with Omni and Hellcat's business, IPTV, this internet protocol television, which was we're literally ripping off the cable companies by taking their services and reselling them and leaving them out the payment loop. Hello, that's called stealing. That was the real ripoff. But the people who were buying the services for $15, $20 a month didn't see it. They saw it as the cable companies ripping people off. And they were getting over, They were getting it at the appropriate thing. Because see, price flexibility. This is America. You can get whatever you want. So this whole notion that because Apple has created intellectual property, created products that because they charge a price and people pay it, is ripping folks off. That's the wrong mindset to have. You are starting from the back of the bus with that mindset, because there are many people who feel, based upon how they feel, that a product should be X, Y, and Z price. Well, I feel that should cost this. That's not how it works, man. Kevin, that's an opinion, and then there's fact. Apple ripping off people's limited belief, pretty much. Josh Barr, if you enjoy your vocation, you won't think about the 2 to 5 year journey or early retirement. Absolutely. See, Douglas, a lot of folks are going in here, man. Jeff Turner, what's the best marketing funnel for selling an online course? One that you believe in. Agent J. Poole, that's gospel. Trump is a brand that people bought. It got him the presidency. Brand is everything. Just saying. Mike Ellie, did Apple put a gun to these people's heads? No. What's up, Alien Word? Edward Anderson, more gospel. Flashwave, that's what I just said, man. So once again, you guys got to understand that this whole process of starting a business and building a business is going to be hard. All right, so that's your message for today. Starting your business in 2020, you're going to be challenged. You're going to have trials and tribulations and stuff. So with that, I will see you guys later.